Hello, and welcome back to my podcast. I know I've been away a while, and I'm not going to make excuses. I'm back now, life just happened, and that's that. Today, I'm going to be talking about exfoliating, and I know that I've touched on this in a previous episode. Today, I'm going to be talking about scrubs and DIY scrubs for your face and body. If you want to hear about other types of exfoliation, I will link that previous episode in the description of this episode, so you can go ahead and listen to that. But as I said, today I'm going to be talking about scrubs. I'm going to be sharing what I have learned through research and years of practice with you. And I found a lot of recipes online that I have tried over the years. And it tells you a lot about some of the ingredients that are included in the recipes. But the problem is they don't tell you or explain to you the most important part, which are the abrasives. It has been many years since I purchased a pre-made scrub from anywhere, and with good reason. Yeah, they come with ingredients lists, but you never really know what's in there. And scrubs can actually be counterproductive to your body because the abrasives that are in them can cause micro abrasions in your skin, which are little tears and cuts in your skin. And so I find it's very important to know what I am using to exfoliate my skin, because it can really cause a lot of damage, especially over time. And I exfoliate a minimum once a week. So today I'm going to be getting into all of that and also talking about over exfoliation and how to properly use these types of scrubs. I also want to mention that there is no one size fits all for scrubs because everybody has a different skin type, and when you're buying something from a store, obviously it's not customized to you. So that's another reason that I really recommend making your scrubs yourself so you know exactly what's in them. But before I go any further, I just want to make a quick disclaimer. I am not a dermatologist or even an esthetician or anything like that. All of the information that I'm providing you is what I have learned by doing research over the years and also from my own experience. So I am not a professional, and this is not any type of advice from a doctor or something like that. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to talk about is exfoliation and what exactly it is for people who don't really know what it is, because some people are exfoliating but they don't know why, just because someone told them to somewhere along the line. And so exfoliation is the process of removing dead skin from your body. Your body is constantly renewing cells, and actually every 7 years or so you have a brand new body because all of your cells have been renewed. Your skin is renewing cells every 30 days-ish. And so to expose your fresh new skin and to keep your skin more healthy and smooth, you can exfoliate to remove the dead skin cells. Also, it helps with removing dirt from pores and that kind of thing as well. So that's why we exfoliate. And exfoliation can also help with other issues, like, for example, ingrown hairs. Some people have this condition with their skin. It's called chicken skin, where you get tiny little bumps. Usually it's on the back of your arms or on your legs or something like that. Exfoliation helps with that as well. In those ways, exfoliating is really great for your skin, but there are downsides to exfoliating as well. Like I mentioned earlier, over exfoliation can damage your skin quite a bit, and also being too rough while you're exfoliating can cause those micro abrasions like I was talking about. And micro abrasions, like I said, are tiny little tears in your skin. So you have to be careful while exfoliating because you can really do more harm than good to your skin. So the next thing that I'm going to talk about are the different types of abrasives. And the reason that I don't buy pre-made scrubs is because sometimes the abrasives are harmful. Like, everybody's probably heard of that apricot scrub by St. Ives, and that has little tiny pieces of shells in it, and those are rough on all the edges, and they actually tear up your skin really bad no matter how gently you use them. And there are similar things in many different scrubs that are very dangerous for your skin, actually. So the types of abrasives that I like to use are coffee, which the caffeine is actually good for your skin. It helps with brightening and tightening. And also I like to use sugar, especially in facial scrubs. I don't use anything but sugar because the sugar actually dissolves, as you probably know. So when you're rubbing, instead of cutting into your skin, it's dissolving. So those are the two main abrasives that I like to use. And I use different types of sugar for different types of scrubs, but sugar is an amazing exfoliant abrasive. People put salt in their scrubs as an abrasive, but it's not something that I like to do unless you're having really oily skin, because salt is drying. And if you're having really oily skin, then salt might be a good abrasive for you. And similar to sugar, it dissolves, so it's more gentle of an exfoliant than, something like coffee, for example. So that would be suitable for use if you have like really oily facial skin. That could help with the oil. But also you have to consider that a lot of people have oily skin because their skin is too dry, and your body is trying to compensate for the dryness of your skin by producing more sebum. So if you have really oily skin, your problem might be that you're not moisturizing enough. The next thing that I'm going to touch on are carriers, and carriers are basically the wet ingredients that you use to carry the dry ingredients to make it a scrub. And there are so many things that you can use depending on your skin type, depending on your goals for your skin. There's a lot of different carriers that you can use for your scrubs. And some of my favorite are honey, yogurt, and oils. I use different oils depending on how I feel or what exactly I'm exfoliating, and my two favorite oils are coconut oil and olive oil. Now, honey is a natural humectant, which means that it naturally hydrates your skin, and yogurt is as well. You want to use Greek yogurt or natural yogurt, but it also really helps to tighten pores. Another abrasive that you could use is tea. Green tea is really, really good for your skin. However, I use it as a carrier, where I put a tea bag in a small amount of water and I let it steep for an hour at least, and then you can add that as a carrier to your scrubs. Carrier that you can add are egg whites, which help with tightening your pores and also tightening the skin. However, if you're vegan, then all of the carriers that I've just mentioned, apart from the oils, are going to be not kosher for you. But that's fine because you can use the oils as the base for basically any of the recipes that I go over in this episode. The next thing that I want to talk about is the process of exfoliating. And for this type of exfoliation using scrubs, it's really important to soften your skin first. So you would start off by washing your face or your body. For all of the body scrubs, I do them in the shower, and I let them sit on my body for as long as possible before washing them off. The same with face scrubs, they double as a mask, so you can do your exfoliating and then leave it on your skin for 10 to 20 minutes. And that's basically how you should be using an exfoliant. Now, after you wash your skin and your skin is softened from obviously being wet, you don't want to dry your skin fully. If you're doing a facial scrub only, you don't want to dry your skin fully. You want it to still be damp. And when you're using an exfoliant, you want to gently gently rub it in circular motions, very gently. I've seen some people like in YouTube videos and stuff where they like scrub hard, and you don't want to do that. You're using the exfoliant to just gently remove the dead skin cells. And, obviously, as I said prior, you can use it as it's removing deeper dirt, it's helping cleanse your pores, that kind of thing. But you want to do this very gently, or you're going to be creating those microabrasions in your skin, which is very bad for your skin. When you are exfoliating your face, never ever use exfoliant on your under eye area or your eyelids, because that skin is very sensitive, it's very thin, and it tears very easily. And also, it's not necessary. You don't need to exfoliate under your eyes. Your main exfoliation areas should be obviously your T-zone, your chin, and your forehead. So that's where you should be concentrating your exfoliation, especially around your nose area. If you have those little tiny bumps on your nose that are caused by blackheads and blocked pores, exfoliating will really help that. And you don't want to exfoliate too often. If you're going to start exfoliating, I would start with once a week, and then maybe you could increase it to twice a week later on. But you don't want to over exfoliate your skin, because once you've removed all the dead skin cells, if you exfoliate again too soon, then you are actually damaging your fresh skin cells. So we don't want to do that. We want to keep it as a good thing, as a good part of our skincare routine, not something that's going to damage our skin. When you're using a scrub on your body, you can go a little bit harder, but again, not too hard. You're trying to delicately and gently remove dead skin cells. If you're doing it like obviously on your hands or on the bottom of your feet, you can go a bit harder, because those areas are naturally rougher and it's harder to remove the skin from those areas. Next, I'm going to talk about the recipes that I personally use, and my skin, as I've said in previous episodes, is sensitive. I will also write in the description below in case you don't have a pen and paper handy. But before I get into that, I wanted to ask, if you like this episode or you find it helpful, please like, subscribe, or follow, depending on what platform you're listening on, because it really means a lot to me. So this first recipe is one that I use as a body scrub, and kind of the rule of thumb of creating a scrub is that you want to add 1 teaspoon of carrier, so 1 teaspoon of wet ingredients for every tablespoon of dry ingredients. Now, I make my scrubs so that they're one-time use, but you can make bigger batches. You can double, triple, or whatever quantity you want of these batches, and you can store them in airtight containers, and they stay good for a long time. Unless you're using something perishable like yogurt or eggs, then you have to use them as soon as you make them. So as I was saying, the first recipe is for a body scrub, and that would be oil, sugar, coffee, and green tea. So I use 1 tablespoon of coffee, 1 tablespoon of sugar. Typically I use brown sugar for this scrub because the coffee does not dissolve, so you don't really need too much extra exfoliant, but I really like the texture of the brown sugar in the scrub. And then I use 1 teaspoon of green tea, which was steeped in, just 1 tea bag with a couple tablespoons of hot water for more than an hour. And then I use 1 teaspoon of olive oil. So as you can see, this one is a vegan friendly recipe, and as I said, I will write it in the description below so that you don't have to remember all of this. And my favorite recipe for a facial scrub is brown sugar with honey and yogurt. You can use any type of sugar that you want for this, but as I was saying before, sugar is really the best abrasive for any type of facial scrub because it dissolves. So when you're rubbing it in, it's dissolving, and it doesn't dissolve too quickly, but it kind of lets you know when to stop, because as I said, over exfoliating, especially on your face, is really detrimental to the process. So for this recipe, I use equal parts of honey, yogurt, and brown sugar. But as I said, you can use any type of sugar that you want. I have sensitive skin, so brown sugar is best because it's finer grained and it dissolves faster than white sugar. So those are my favorite recipes for face and for body, and I will write in the description below a few more recipes that I use not so much on a regular basis, because there's no point in talking about them too much in an episode because you can't remember them. So the description will have it all down there. And I want to thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.